This is the SHIB coin 1 month overview reading for the month of November 2024. It's currently October 30th, 2024, 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Shiba Inu at the time of this reading 0.0000184442. That's 4 zeros after the decimal point, followed by a 1843, and that's USD. The shuffle video for the November SHIB coin reading was created on August 21st, 2024 at 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time. In this video, we're going to cover the overall trend and direction for the month, as well as any important chart events that take place throughout the month. We're also going to cover the week-by-week chart behavior, timing of the peaks and troughs. Then we're going to get into a review of the previous month's reading to give you an idea of what our accuracy really is like. And we're going to give you one of the best trades that we see for the month. The timing, for the most part, is going to be on point to the day, but there will be some cases where the sequence of events, as outlined in the prediction, will remain accurate, but the day might be off plus or minus a day, wiggle room here or there. In other readings, you won't need to plus or minus wiggle room at all. Point being is that you want to follow the sequence of events as outlined by the prediction. When trading this information, you don't want to use price levels as your entry and exits. This is very important. You want to make sure that you're trading with entry and exits based on chart behavior and general timing, but look for the chart behavior. All of that in this video. Stay tuned to watch the review at the end. The overall theme and behavior for the month of November, we have a period of sideways rotation along the key support level on a 1-year chart scale. There should be a sharp drop within that period of sideways rotation. It's crossed with sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow. But the combination of those two cards as the overall theme and crossing cards makes it rather difficult to get the exact time of the highest high and the lowest low. We'll be able to pinpoint locations of the highs and the lows, but pinpointing which of them is the highest and low might be a little bit more difficult. And what's interesting is that this theme is also running pretty parallel to the Bitcoin reading for November, which is sideways rotation, but with a fast sudden move higher. Also, there should be a notable speaker. Probably midway through the month, there should be a notable somebody speaking in a way that would impact SHIB pretty notably. And it looks like whatever they're going to be talking about is not to be relied upon or trusted. But look for some price swings back and forth off of the lows. Behavior on the high side, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a 1-year chart scale, followed by a decline through key support on a 1-year chart scale. There's also a notable trade opportunity, near the high there. Behavior around, and that's on a multi-day scale, I'll talk about in more detail in the monthly access subscription version. Behavior around the lowest low, we have an important technical price level, an important resistance level on a 1-year chart scale that we've met many times before and failed to break through many times before, that's highlighted near the low or lows. Usually there's a pretty notable decline out of that or off of that resistance. We should also see sideways rotation and a sharp drop within that period of sideways rotation. Most likely that sharp drop is what will take us into the low. Now I'm going to give you the day-by-day chart behavior sequence of events. This is a guide for sequence of chart events. Generally, the timing will line up pretty nicely day by day, but it's not always the case. Sometimes there's plus or minus a day here or there wiggle room. So you want to pay attention to the sequence of events. I also do not advise trading this information without the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts. To do so is like trying to trade. I've been trading this information for 25 years. I developed this system. So the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts are like a game changer. Trading without it is a little bit risky because for the majority of this stuff, it'll be right on point, but then occasionally there's going to be the one that's off and that'll really trip you up. So best way to handle it, get that monthly access subscription. And then I'll also give you one of the best trades that I see for the month. Before I do all that though, I just want to make sure, I want to take a look at October and see how we're doing thus far. So we have this prominent peak here on the 1st, and you can see that took place. A significant trough low on the 3rd. I have it as a trough. Prominent high on the 6th. There's a high side thus far on the 6th. We have a low on the 10th. Pretty solid there as well. I had a chance of another low somewhere between the 12th and the 14th. That one doesn't look like it held up so well. We had this sharp drop. It didn't come down as much as expected. It's more like an intraday thing. And then we get into highs. There's a prominent peak on the 19th and the 20th. 19th, 20th, those ended up being, well, actually, those didn't end up being highs. They ended up being high size thus far, but prominent peaks is successful. And then we were a little late on this high here, but what we did have is this like dip and pop back to the upside that we predicted taking place here around the 25th. You can see here on the 25th. So we were expecting the high a little bit later than it took place here on the 21st, right? So either way, even if you started on the 25th, you still would have caught the majority of this move to the downside, this drop and pop that we predicted taking place. By the 29th, 30th, we're right back up to highs basically where we should have been. So not my most accurate as far as the highs and the lows, but it looks like the trades were pretty solid. Also, overall, it looks like we'll finish to the upside, something that the theme card also predicted. So October's looking pretty good. I mean, I missed a few places as far as the highest high and lowest low, and I saw them as just peaks and troughs. It happens occasionally. That's why I put up this stuff so you guys have an honest reflection and you trade accordingly, right? I never take down bad. For those of you that are new, it's important you understand I never take down bad readings. We never take down readings. Pretty much they're all up, bad or good, and that gives you an honest reflection. if it took down the bad readings, it would be irresponsible. People would trade like I was right all the time, and that would be a silly thing to do. So keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to go through the sequence of events. Keep in mind it's like plus or minus a day here or there. It's a sequence of events that's important. And then we're going to give you one of the best trades after that. I'll tell you how to get them off the Access subscription that has the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts as part of the subscription. So stay tuned for that. All right, on the first, we have a resistance level that's highlighted, and there's some flat behavior taking place there. A pretty notable move to the downside on the second. There's actually some price swinging between going down from the first into the second and then back up through the third into the fourth. And maybe even some price swinging specifically, or volatility specifically on the second. Notable move higher taking place on the third, peak at the beginning of the day on the fourth, and then a move to the downside towards the end of the day on the fourth, probably like a retracement of the move higher starting on the third, taking us into the peak on the fourth. There's an important support level highlighted on the 5th. This was the early November card, so significance here. There's an important support level highlighted here. This is on a 1-year chart scale, and it looks like it may not hold. Usually it can be relied upon, but it looks like it may not hold because we declined pretty notably on the 6th to revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity on a multi-day scale there around the cusp of the 6th or the 7th. There's a near overbought crest that we sell off from around the 7th, and we sell off through multiple supports. Decline continues on the 8th through multiple supports into a low, into another trough, and then we have sideways 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level taking place around the 9th. It's first to the upside, then the downside, then back to the upside, usually confirming a bullish trend. On the 10th, we'll have a rally increasing with a rally along a diagonal trend line breaking through a horizontal resistance. There's a breakout towards the end of the day, and then after that breakout, we have a decline on the 11th that's followed by another move to the upside, possibly starting on the 11th and continuing through the 12th, where we likely have a breakout on a multi-day scale there. We bump along resistance sideways somewhere between the 12th and the 13th near a peak, and then there's a sharp drop from that peak. 3 pokes through the same trend line on the 14th with a sharp drop off at that 3rd poke, and then on the 15th we have a move higher through key resistance, followed by we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter with a full retracement, creating like a capital A in the English language. Sideways rotation on the 16th, more sideways rotation on the 17th. However, it looks like there's a lot of price swinging in that sideways rotation on the 17th. With a trough early in the day on the 18th, we attempt to establish support. There's a move to the upside to a peak towards the end of the day on the 18th. Another trough early in the day on the 19th with a sharp drop into that trough, and then another move to the upside, another big move to the upside out of that trough early in the day on the 19th to a peak somewhere like mid to late 19th, day of the 19th. On the 20th, we have sideways rotation and a fast move higher. There's a peak taking us into a peak on the 21st that we then decline from. It's probably midday on the 21st. We decline from it and then return back to it somewhere between the 22nd and the 24th. There's a notable move to the upside on the 22nd, a notable move to the downside on the 23rd with a big move higher from a trough to a peak right around the cusp of the 23rd, 24th. And then from that peak, we sell off down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal, come back and reuse that price level as support around the 24th, 25th. Sideways S formation within a channel on the 25th looks like it's slightly to the downside. On the 26th, we have a crest that turns over into a trough towards the end of the day on the 26th. And then kind of price swingy here on the 27th. It looks like a decline ends on the 27th with a fast sudden move higher towards the end of the day, maybe even a breakout. More price swinging around the 28th and the 29th with a pop and drop on the 29th and some intentional fake out or shake out on the 28th. We also have an important peak early in the day on the 29th, and then likely another important peak on the 30th with a rally that either turns over on the 30th or turns over on the first day of the following month. Sneak preview for December: multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, some more price swinging, volatility, and most likely a lower price level in December than lows of November. One of the best trades that I see for the month. All right, I like this trade over here on the 11th. So I'm going to give you an entry and an exit. The entry being on the 11th, exit being on the 12th or the 13th. But I'm going to give you the chart behavior leading into the entry. That way, what you're looking for is the sequence of chart behavior as expected coming to fruition. And provided that you see that come to fruition, that would be a signal to enter into this trade at the expected entry point. If it doesn't come into fruition as expected leading into the entry point, don't enter the trade or look for a Discord alert for advisement on what to do at that time. So entry again on the 11th, and what we're looking for is around the 10th. There should be a trough on the important trough on the 8th on a multi-day scale, and then from that trough we should have sideways 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level around the 9th, leading with the 3rd cross to the upside, confirming a bullish trend, moving into through the 10th into a breakout on the 10th. Now from that breakout on the 10th, we likely have a decline early in the day on the 11th or starting at the end of the day on the 10th. A decline in the midst of the decline there on the 11th, early in the day, you would want to open up a partial long. We go lower, add to the long. We go lower, add to the long. It's a little difficult to determine if we're going to turn around on the 11th or if we're going to turn around on the 12th. So you don't want to miss the opportunity, but you also don't want to jump in too early. So do it in partials, like 25% of a position at a time as we go down. And also look for Discord alerts that might be there giving you ideas of when to enter and exit, enter these positions. And then what you want to do is you want to hold that long position. We'll turn around either most likely on the 11th, but more so we should see a big move to the upside starting on the 11th, continuing into the 12th. There should be a key resistance level on the 12th on a multi-day scale that we rally into and probably have like a false breakout through. Look for that resistance. That would be where you want to exit. This is resistance on a multi-day scale. You want to exit there. Now, if you miss that opportunity, there's really another location, but it's pretty risky. So what you want to do is if there's a big move to the upside on the 11th and you see a breakout on a multi-day scale through a resistance level, a temporary breakout on a multi-day scale through a resistance level that's important relative to a multi-day scale, it starts out of a move to the upside on the 11th. If it takes place on the 11th, sell there. If it takes place on the 12th, sell there, but don't wait for the 12th. If you see it happening on the 11th, take it on the 11th. You might be leaving money on the table, but who cares? The point is to make money and move on to the next trade, not to risk it so you can make extra money. Like, don't do that. That's a fool's errand, all right? So that's a solid trade. Again, look for that chart behavior leading into it, and really the best way to trade this info is with the Discord trade alerts. All right, so if you're interested in that stuff, guys, all right, if you're interested in the monthly access subscription, the most popular subscription on our channel, you go to our website, Terra for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on subscriptions. It's the middle subscription, monthly access. Click here to subscribe. It gets you access to all of the monthly access versions, the full versions of the videos for these tickers and crypto on the list here, a bunch of them, 14 in total. And it gets you all of the trades that I see, as well as the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts, all as part of that subscription. $300 a month. We draw right on the charts, entry and exits. We draw right on the live updated charts, and anybody with the Discord has access to these links. It's really a game changer at that point, so highly recommend that if you're planning to trade this information. It'll take you to the next level on SO trading. With that said, let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Blessings to all my angel investors. I will see you guys on the next one.